obviously go to get the same result into the mix. And by the way, if you're looking at those two games they've gone ahead to play in Spain, I think, did Arsenal score first or they scored first? But all I know is that Gabriel Jesus was really very pivotal into Arsenal's result in Sevilla. So smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Magical Nwaneri is the title of the video. But obviously Arsenal needed a win in all aspects to obviously seal their top position. I told you that even if they lost, they wouldn't have found themselves out of this because Arsenal had a goal difference of very, very many goals, and all they needed was not to lose with very many goals, but they've gone ahead obviously do the needful and really score. And guess what? They showed the threat of power, and they're like, we are Arsenal. Danjuma in the 28th minute went ahead obviously score against Arsenal, and it was a very, 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 very huge miscommunication between Kivio and Gabriel Magalhaes. And after all that, Danjuma went ahead to beat that high line of Arsenal, and it resulted into Arsenal getting or conceding the first goal of the game. And after Arsenal conceded the first goal of the game, guess what happened? They really never had a way to come back into this at that particular moment. But in some minutes later, Arsenal went ahead obviously showed to it that we can obviously equalize, because it took Arsenal a lapse of 10 minutes to see to it that they obviously fire back into what we call an equalizer. And it was Thomas Partey brought down into the penalty area, and Thomas Partey and Arsenal a penalty. And guess who went ahead to score that penalty? It was none other than Jorginho, who went ahead obviously hip hop. Is it a hip hop or a lip hop, something of the sort, and went ahead to send the goalkeeper the wrong way and buried that ball into the back of the net. That's how everything really happened down at the side of Arsenal, and they obviously went ahead obviously level it up through a Jorginho penalty. And that was really one of the moments that I was like, all right, Arsenal has shown that they can fight back, because fighting back is also an art of obviously showing how good you've always gone ahead to be. Because the manager came in through and he rested very many players, because Raya never started, Julian Timber never started, Lewis Kelly never started, Saliba never started, Declan Rice never started, Kai Havertz never started, Martinelli never started. 7 of his starters were not into the starting 11 for the club of Arsenal, and that's why I tell you they really deserve a very huge credit for them bouncing back and obviously getting the lead. And after them equalizing, they kept pressing and knocking on the door of a team known as Girona. And in the 42nd minute, those are 14 minutes after the equalizer, sorry, those were 4 minutes after the equalizer, Nwaneri went ahead to pull a trigger into one of the best way possible, and I was like, Nwaneri, you really deserve your flowers. And I tell you what, he is a special caliber of player. Nwaneri is a special kind of player. If you missed out on how he pulled the trigger, let me show you one of these slides, and I think you'll understand what Nwaneri was on the night. And that's how he pulled the trigger, and it curled into the back of the net. And one of the attributes he used was to obviously come up and obviously hold that ball, and it was like he was moving outside the 18 yards box area, and when he neared the D, that circle, that semicircle at the 18 yards box area, went ahead to obviously go in for that curling shot, and the goalkeeper couldn't obviously find himself in a position of really rescuing his team from obviously conceding another goal coming in through from the side of Arsenal. So that's how everything went ahead to happen at the side of Arsenal, and Nwaneri gave Arsenal the winning goal into that beautiful game of football. And after him scoring that goal, Nwaneri went ahead to to obviously celebrate. You understand? He went ahead to celebrate, as you see him there. And he was alongside Ricardo Carafiori. And for Nwaneri, there are facts that you need to obviously put on your fingertips. This was his first start in the Champions League. Most of the games, he was coming off the bench in the Champions League. But this one is his first start as a player for the side of Arsenal. That is Ethan Nwaneri. And he scored that goal. And secondly, he has equaled the number of Champions League games that Theo Walcott and Cesc Fabregas went ahead to play before they turned 18. Because as we speak, Ethan Nwaneri is 17 years, and on the 21st of March is going to be clocking 18 years of age. You understand? And today he has gone ahead obviously play his 50th Champions League game, but the last 4 he never obviously started, and on his start he has gone ahead obviously score a goal for the club of Arsenal. And so far this season, he has 1 goal in the Champions League, 2 goals in the Premier League in 13 games, and in the FL Cup he scored 3 goals. That is Ethan Nwaneri, meaning that he has a tally of 6 goals this season, and that shows you that he's obviously going to turn out to be that deadly striker. And that deadly attacking midfielder for the club of Arsenal. And if you really doubt what he brings on the table, then you need to obviously improve your eye test, because the lad is that special, and I know he's obviously going to be doing the needful as a player for the club of Arsenal to put in the shift. And by the way, with that performance today, I think he puts himself in contention to obviously start the game of Man City, that Arsenal is going to be hosting Man City at Emirates on Sunday. I tell you, he's obviously putting himself into that contention. You can understand? And I tell you, I would give him everything that he deserves, and benefit of doubt, he deserves to start. If you know, you know. Tell me a reason that you would give us for not really starting Ethan Nwaneri into that Man City game, because he has gone ahead to prove, and he's really performing very well. So his performances have been really great in there for you. And the other highlight of this game of football has been Raheem Sterling. You get? Sterling again went ahead to obviously miss out on a penalty, you know, and everyone was like, this penalty was given to you because they wanted to boost your confidence, and you went ahead to obviously respot that ball very well, and he missed out on a penalty. But I won't come out and obviously blame him for obviously missing out on a penalty, but how is he gonna help himself as a player? Because moments like this are really rare when you obviously get a penalty and Bukayo Saka is not here. You understand? And Odegaard, who is the next in command when it comes to obviously taking penalties for the club of Arsenal, is also saying, please go ahead and obviously take that penalty. And that is Raheem Sterling for you. And he took a penalty, and the goalkeeper went ahead to obviously save it. And I was like, this was the moment for him to obviously send himself back into high spirits as a player, as you won't obviously see a lot of people come here to see to it that they give this player all what he deserves. But one thing I really understand about such a moment, if you miss it, you'll go down in your spirits. And overall, Raheem Sterling went ahead to put in a very big show. I tell you, he went ahead to put up a very huge show tonight. And there was a moment when he was really brought down, and I was like, it looked like a penalty, and the referee went ahead obviously give him a red card. But all in all, I think it's obviously gonna go on well as planned for the club of Arsenal, because they are really looking out for other players to obviously add onto their squad, because Raheem Sterling is failing himself. I've never seen a player who fails himself like Raheem Sterling. This is a moment where you concentrate and obviously understand that, all right, all I need is to bury this ball in the back of the net. And minus me burying it in the back of the net, that will obviously increase or mount a lot of pressure on me as a player, that I cannot even score a penalty. I know 90% it's a 99% for penalty to obviously go in. But if you miss it, people will obviously come and judge you. You understand? So we wait and see how that pans out. But in my own understanding, he's failing himself. This was a chance for him to obviously get back into the beautiful game of football and see to it that all goes on well as planned. But for me, Arteta looks like he's the happiest man because winning this game of football today is very important for what Arsenal's spend in the summer is really going to be, because they have gone ahead obviously add more £12 million onto the money they've already gone ahead to obviously accumulate. Now, when you go out and look at the UEFA Champions League group stage money prize, you understand? Let's show you. Let me try to obviously get through how this is really done, because every team has to do the needful to obviously understand this. Taking part, they're telling us that for the expanded 2024-2025 Champions League competition, organizers announced the total pass for this. All right, now we want to know how much money every team is really gonna get. Let me try to obviously calculate, especially for the club of Arsenal. Now, we have performance-related prize money for 37.5%. That is 914 million euros, to be put down. And they say that performance-based money, winner, runner-up, semi-finalists, quarter-finalists. Now, Arsenal getting into the quarter-finals, they have gone ahead to get 12.5 million euros. You understand? Arsenal is getting 12.5 million euros for obviously getting into that side. And each and every win that Arsenal is going ahead to register into the group stages contributes 2.1 million euros, meaning that Arsenal went ahead to obviously register how many wins. I think they got 6 wins. That is 12.6 million euros. You get? They drew 1 game and they earned 700,000, meaning that when you add all that money, Arsenal looks like they've gone ahead to earn 13 million euros from the group stages. You understand? And from 13 million euros from the group stages, going to the quarterfinals, you add the 12 million, meaning that they're so far going to make close to 26 million euros from what they've gone ahead to get in there for you. And if Arsenal proceeds to the semi-finals, they would have gone ahead obviously earn more 15 million euros, 15 million euros. And those 15 million euros will obviously be adding up to the 26. That will be 41 million euros. If Arsenal go to the final and don't win, hear me out, and they don't win, they would have gone ahead to get in close to 65 million euros. You understand? And if they win, Arsenal would have gone ahead obviously obviously 70 million euros from the Champions League. You understand how big that is for the club of Arsenal. So as things stand, Arsenal are really doing the needful, and we've also been told additionally teams will be paid a new league ranking bonus based on their final ranking in the league. The league ranking bonus is divided into 666 equal shares of initial values of 275,000 euros, with the team finishing 36 taking home the solidarity share. The 35th team will take 2 shares, and so until the finishing. The undistributed 700,000 from each drawn game will be potentially. So Arsenal is really getting in some other money from from finishing third onto the table. You understand? So a lot is into this phase, and that's why it's very easy for a club that lifts this league obviously amass to 100. Hear me out. 100 million euros if at all you win this stage. And I tell you what, when it comes to the side of the match going funds, Arsenal went ahead to obviously host 4 games of the Champions League at home, and that means they are also earning money. You know, Arsenal has a capacity of 60,000 fans, and I know they obviously have to give like 8,000 tickets to the home visiting fans, meaning that close to 50,000 tickets of Arsenal, 50,000 tickets go to the side of Arsenal. And let's obviously let you know, Arsenal USL ticket, you know, let's see. And we've been told that a ticket, I'm looking for how so their ticket is around £47. Arsenal Champions tickets on SeatPick currently kick off at a price of 63. So they pay close to 40, whereas the average ticket listing is. So it's like 50, it's around £50 for the club of Arsenal, their ticket. So if it's £50, that means they're hosting 50,000 people. If every person on average pays £50,000, you know, that is close to £2.5 million every game times 4. Those are £10 million. You understand? Now, people come at that stadium, they really spend, they eat, they do what, they buy merchandise, and each and every match day, Arsenal might obviously walk out with £4 million. And so it shows you that in the incoming, in what we call the match collected ticket, match collected total money might sum up to £4 million for the club of Arsenal, between £4 to £5 million, you know, because the executive boxes and so on and so forth. So I tell you, they're really making a lot of money as a club of Arsenal. That's why you see it that they are willing to obviously bring in a player immediately before this winter transfer window comes to an end. So guys, smash the like button, comment and share. I'm seeing close to 120 are really watching this channel, and you guys are really having the best of the best. And let's go into what we call the stats of the day and see what your thoughts are, how Arsenal really featured today. 7 shots by Girona, Arsenal had 16. 3 shots on target by Girona, Arsenal had 6 shots on target. Then 39% ball possession by Girona, Arsenal had 61% ball possession. 309 passes completed by Arsenal. Completed by Girona, Arsenal completed 472 passes. Then 84% passing accuracy by Girona, Arsenal had 86% passing accuracy. Then 13 fouls by Girona, Arsenal also had 13 fouls. 4 yellow cards to Girona, Arsenal had 2 yellow cards. 0 red cards to the side of Arsenal and 0 red cards to the side of Girona. Then 1 offside to the club of Girona and 2 offsides to the club of Arsenal. 3 corners to the club of Girona, and Arsenal had 13 corners. And by the way, Arsenal looks like they're no longer threatening into the set pieces, yet we all know to it that they had gone ahead, obviously rank themselves up there as the set piece kings. And before we obviously get into what you people are saying into the live chat, allow me read to you what the results of today have been like. Liverpool have been beaten by PSV 3-2. Bayern has beaten Slovenian Balstevra by 3-1. Dortmund has beaten Shakhtar Donetsk by 3-1. Leverkusen has beaten Sparta Praha by 2-0. Arsenal 2, Girona 1. Barcelona 2-2 draw with Atlanta. Brest 0, Real Madrid 3, Man City 1. And for Man City, by the way, went to half time when they go down, come back and scored 3. and they won by 3-1, and they managed to qualify to go to the round of 16. Young Boys 0, Creven Zeveda 1, Lille 6, Feyenoord 1. Oh, what a thrash. That is a humbling in there. Juventus 0, Benfica 2, Aston Villa 4, Celtic 2. Aston Villa is going to hit win. Dynamo Zagreb 2, Inter Milan 1. This is AC Milan 1. Inter Milan 3, Monaco 0. Then Sturm Graz 1, RB Leipzig 0. Red Bull Salzburg 1, Atletico Madrid 4. And then Sporting Lisbon 1, Bologna 1. VfB Stuttgart 1, PSG 4. So that's how everything went ahead to obviously go down in the last match, day 8 of the Champions League. And now let's get to the table and see who has obviously done what and where are they really ranking as it's happening right about now. Smash the like button, guys. You can as well obviously buy a super chat to support this channel by clicking that $sign down there. And Liverpool, 8 games, 21 points. That is Liverpool for you. Then we are having Barcelona, 8 games, 19 points. Arsenal, 18 games, 19 points. Inter Milan, 8 games, 19 points. Atletico Madrid, 8 games, 18 points. Leverkusen, 8 games, 16 points. Lille, 8 games, 16 points. Aston Villa, 8 games, 16 points. Those are the 8 teams that have straight away gone to the quarterfinals, and they are not obviously going to be taking part in any of the games of the knockout of the last 16. Now, the next 16 teams that are going to hit obviously qualify, but it's going to be a playoff in the round of 16 are as follows: Atlanta, Dortmund, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, AC Milan, PSG, Benfica, Monaco, Brest, Feyenoord, Juventus, Celtic, Man City, Sporting, and Club Brugge. And I think that draw is obviously going to be conducted on Friday, and we'll be knowing who is playing who anytime from Friday. So now Arsenal will get to know which teams they're obviously going to be facing after these 16 teams face off in a home and away affair. You get me? So that's exactly what we are all about in here onto the Rokani Media Football. So I think I've gone ahead obviously talk about everything that was all about that game, and obviously allow me get into what you people have to say about me here into what we call the live chat. We are having 7 minutes. In the next 7 minutes, we are obviously gonna be getting done. Daniel Okuja Komboni, Ethan is a possible replacement for Starboy Saka. Very good player, and this is one of the things I've always gone ahead obviously recommend the manager of Arsenal to do, right? Then Ronald, Arsenal forever. Yakatonda Peter, thank you. Arsenal, Tata Arsenal. Hello Rokani. Why doesn't Ateta also play the young striker of Arsenal? Do you know his name? Do you know his name? Can you please let me know who his name is? Robin Omaworth. Good morning, Rokani. Listening to you from Kampala, Uganda. Thank you for watching and listening to from Kampala. Then lovely Coyote. Good morning. Thank you for your everything. I'm watching from Mogadishu, Somalia. Thank you very much. Then I'm having Mubarak Nabong. Mr. Aradi, good morning, sir. But for me, I'm not happy by what Ateta want to do to sign with an Asia player and the high amount. I think they've gone ahead way out, and they found out that Oli Watkins is the player they have to go in for. So you've been obviously wanting in a number 9, and Arsenal right now need what we call a proven player in the Premier League. That is it. They don't need a player who is not proven in the Premier League. They should go in for a proven player. And so far, he has 10 goals. And I tell you what, he has done his job and he has done what he has to do. So why would you obviously feel agitated for a manager going in for a player like him? I think if they can sign him and comes in through and obviously plays for 3 seasons for the club of Arsenal, I think that's okay. You know, I think that's okay. Dila Fedi, good morning, Mr. Aradi. The only thing I know is that if Arteta doesn't change his mindset to pursue a proven striker, Arsenal will gonna still be in false hope of winning trophies. But Arsenal have just gonna have to put in their bid for Oli Watkins, and Aston Villa has just gonna have to obviously reject it. So please, Arsenal is in for striker. That's what you should know. Mubarak Nabothong, I think Arteta must reinforce left wing inside of the. I think the left side is okay. If you're having Martinelli, you are having a Trossard, you are having a Raheem Sterling, you've gonna hate to see it that when he was playing off the left, he really looked good as a player. So I think they're doing great for that. I'm having a Dila Fedi. Hello, bro. Let's be honest, seriously. You also know that Arsenal need a natural striker at this moment, but Arteta believing in only the midfielders won't achieve him anything like a trophy. I told you when Gabriel Jesus got injured that Arsenal now need a striker and another creative midfielder. That is it. But I don't think that Arsenal is obviously going to go in for creative midfielder after Nwaneri returned quickly from injury and Raheem Sterling. If at all these two had gone ahead to delay, to return or delay their return, I tell you what, they wouldn't have gone ahead to obviously come up and obviously said that they are getting in only a striker. But for me, you've always called in for a proven striker. Oli Watkins is a Premier League proven striker, and let's wait and see how it pans out. But their assessment is showing them that the player they need is Oli Watkins. But on the list, there are very many others. Matthias Cunha is on the list. You understand? He's a Premier League proven player. So Ishak is on the list, but right now they can't obviously afford the amount of money that the side of Newcastle will obviously call in for this guy. You understand? Ndiamuhaki, it has been fantastic for Nwaneri. Yeah, very, very fantastic showcase. And then we are having Mubarak. Please tell me about Japan situation. Why this deal takes so long to be done and dusted? The reason is the player still has to make his decision now. Though we know that Arsenal is leading the race, but he visited Aston Villa, he visited Man City, he visited Arsenal. And I will speak right now is also in Portugal. And we don't know what he's doing in Portugal. You understand? So Pimenta, his agent, will obviously come up and obviously tell us what they've gone ahead obviously decide. Though the father of Japan told us that his son will soon announce where he's obviously going to be playing next. But I tell you, there is a guy called Martin Odegaard, Norwegian. And remember, Severin Japan is also a Norwegian player. And he will obviously get in. He will try to get into the mind of Severin Japan and really get us and get him to coming to play for the club of Arsenal. That is it. Moses Henry, thanks very much for your time. All right, my boss. Thank you. It has been long since I last saw you. Watching me from Chigeze. All right. Always Robin Omarworth. The young striker is Nathan Belter or the J. Yeah, I know he's really great. He's really great, but he has to deserve to go into the first team, and all these youngsters have to get into this team on merit, That's why you saw to it that no one complains of Lewis Kelly and Nwaneri because they've given them ample playing time they've given them ample time to prove to the manager that they deserve to get into the starting 11 of Arsenal, and they are in there on merit. And I know if Walter, Nathan, or Yedeji goes ahead to obviously prove to Mikel Arteta that he's worth getting into the starting 11 for the club of Arsenal, he won't hesitate to give him a go into his team, I tell you. But because the manager hasn't gone ahead to obviously be proven by this guy, that's why things are not really going on well to the level you want them to be. But it's a very good input by you. We'll wait and see whether the manager will obviously get this youngster in. Then Muyi, good evening, Aradi. When is Arsenal signing the striker for us? We are tired with tired legs. Today, go to the video section. You understand? I've gone ahead obviously bring you a story of very many credible tier 1 journalists talking about a deal of Arsenal and their bid that has been rejected by the side of Aston Villa. 60 million pounds submitted and the bid has been rejected. You understand? So that's what I think is happening at the club of Arsenal, and I know they are in for striker. I tell you, before this winter transfer window ends, Arsenal are really gonna deliver you a striker. That is it. They are gonna deliver you a striker. Be sure about that. Good morning, already. I like the update. Thank you very much, Sonko Joseph. Then Moses Henry, for sure. Arteta is trying left and right, but market is terrible because Arsenal has money. Yeah, the money is there, and we are told that Arsenal has close to 161 million pounds to spend this winter transfer window, and they've decided to get off 60 and spend it, and maybe keep the rest for the summer transfer window. You understand? So Arsenal are really pushing hard to sign in other players, and I know they want to get in a striker, and maybe during the summer transfer window, they get in Zubimendi as a midfielder. I know they look out for another attacking midfielder into that club of Arsenal, depending on to Trossard's decision on whether to stay or go to the Saudi Arabian side, and the performance of Ethan Nwaneri, and maybe Raheem Sterling. If he really impresses in the remaining months, maybe Arsenal will be like, we are going to keep you. You understand? Dila Freddy, Arteta might be a trash this season if he doesn't show for a clinical finisher. But you people, you've already heard it that a bid has been submitted for Ollie Watkins, meaning that if they've gone in for Ollie Watkins, they already have their list of strikers that they're interested in. And I think if Ollie Watkins' deal doesn't go through, then they look at Matthias Cunha and very many others. That is it. But I've already told you that my hierarchy, all my first choice would be Matthias Cunha, because he's a versatile player and is just 25 years of age. Then I would follow him up with John Duran, who is obviously going to the side of Al Nassr. If all goes well, his medical is scheduled, I think, tomorrow. Then there is also another player. Ollie Watkins comes third because of his age, but I know amongst all of those three, he is more clinical than any of those. And the big question is, do you want a man who will bury those balls at the back of the net? All you're minding about the age. Game of football is going to hate to change. Players who are 29 and 30 can obviously keep playing at top level football for some good number of years, for like 3 or 4 years. And Ollie Watkins might come in at Arsenal and be there for the next 4 seasons. And I think if he comes in through and obviously scores goals for Arsenal, and Arsenal lifts the Champions League, and Arsenal goes ahead obviously lift the Premier League, would you have anything to demand from the guy? So I think Arteta is spot on to obviously getting this guy. Moses says, mention 3 strikers you wish are right for Arsenal. In the Premier League right now, I think Cunha, Ollie Watkins is also good in the Premier League. And the other one for me is Benjamin Šeško, because I know what he has and what he brings to the table. Alexander Isak would have been the best of all, but his price tag is really ridiculous. 150 million pounds. That's what Newcastle are really calling in for any team that wants to sign this guy. So I think he's good, but no way he can obviously get into the club of Arsenal. The other one that Arsenal would have gone ahead to get in cheaply all on loan until the summer is Evan Ferguson. Good, but his problem is that he's an injury-prone player. That's my problem with him. Dila Freddy, the only problem of this team is getting a proven class striker like Ishak of Newcastle. I tell you, Ollie Watkins is a proven striker. That is it. And let no one lie to you that getting in having a proven striker will see to it that your team really gets in goals. You know, it's not a given. He might even score goals, and your team might obviously be letting in goals. So the balance of the team might be looked at. Then Moses, I think, as Arsenal fans take it that Arteta doesn't love winning trophies, we should be patient because other teams are not sleeping. That is it. Thank you for your submission, Moses. And I think let's come to the end of this video. You understand? I've gone ahead, obviously, say let me come live and obviously talk to you, and thank God we had 130 people watching in live, you know, and thank you for watching in through. I'm gonna be trying to come up on a daily and obviously give you one live to obviously have something to hear from you onto what your thoughts are about this beautiful game of football. So Arsenal are through to the round of 8, meaning that Arsenal is gonna be resting a little bit. There is a spell for Arsenal where they'll spend 10 days without playing. After playing against Leicester City in the Premier League, I think they'll go ahead and really rest for 10 days because there'll be the FA Cup, and I think there will be Champions League playoffs in the midweek, and Arsenal won't be doing anything. Arsenal don't have a game in hand. So that is it. So guys, good night to everyone watching in through. Rokani David is my name. I'm out. Bye-bye. See you when you see me. If any story breaks, just check the live section. And that's why I always tell you, turn your notification bells on.